What's up, guys? So we're back. So you guys remember I was talking about my Kona Sharwell. It looked like it was about to flower, and let's see if I can zoom into this flower here. Yeah, so I mean, this is way too small of a tree to produce any fruit. I mean, it's seriously like 2.5 feet tall maybe. So, but it's actually doing it, which is a good sign that, we're getting flowers, and potentially in the future we'll get more flowers when it gets bigger and we'll produce some fruit. So excited about that. But I wanted to take some time today to show you some of my grafts that I did like last year in October 31st, Halloween of 2021. It seriously took 3 months for a Kona Sharwell that I grafted to finally bud out. So I'll show you a little footage, or actually it's not footage, but a little picture of it finally budding out. And I think the key is really just patience. And I was checking it, every couple weeks or so, and nothing was happening. And as you can see, it's finally looking like it's, leafing out, which is great. But every 2 weeks it was still green, and it was still kind of just there, but not really doing anything. So just giving it a little time, not giving up on it. And the one thing that I did on this Kona is I used a close clip, which if you see my prior video, which I'll link up at the top, like I guess with my finger, like up in this section, I'll link the video so you can actually watch it if you guys are curious. But I used a close clip to attach the graft union, and I would say that it worked okay, but it's probably not my preferred method for grafting, because I've had better success, or it seems like it's working well for some of my other grafts where I actually use a rubber band. So the rubber band method seems to work really, really well for me. So if you don't know, essentially once you do your graft, tie a rubber band around your graft to apply some pressure between the scion and the rootstock, and that seems to kind of help out and help have those two cambium layers like really kind of push up against each other. So okay, so this is my other graft. It's a Jan Boyce. I grafted on 11/11/2021, and this is what it looks like right now. You can see it leafing out, and it's actually growing nicely. So it's kind of nice having another Jan Boyce. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but I got this little scion from a friend, and I definitely want to thank my friend who hooked me up. So thank you very much. Yeah, so this is the Kona Sharwell that I grafted Halloween Day 2021. See, I wrote it on there, 10/31/2021 Kona, and it's finally taken off. Let's see if I could zoom in so you can see it. It's getting kind of dark, so the lighting is probably not that great, but underneath the film you can see it's still a little green, and this whole thing is still green. So, and again, I used a clothespin method. So let me go to some more grafts that I did, but essentially it looked kind of like that. But in this particular one, I actually did the rubber band, and then since I took the clothespin off of the Kona, I just threw it on this for now. But it's not really needed. I can probably just take it off. But this is kind of what I like to do right now going forward. This has been something that's been for me a lot more successful. You do your graft, and then you do a rubber band around it, and here's another example of that right here. So that seems to be something that has been working well for me. And I did see something like this also at a nursery. They were grafting, they probably had like 100 avocados, and all 100 had the rubber bands around it. and that was their preferred method. So I kind of took the learnings from that and applied it at home also. And if you guys are looking to do some grafting, give it a try and see if it works for you. So what's one key to success for grafting? I think part of the things that you got to make sure you do is protect the scion. So as you know, I wrapped the whole thing like that, and then I've been using this rubber band technique. But something else, patience. Patience has been something that it's been tough, because you come out here a couple weeks later and you're hoping something happens, but it doesn't work like that, especially right now when it's technically still kind of like winter time, I guess. So with the temperatures being a little on the lower side, it doesn't really mean that some of these avocados are starting to grow, so like the sap is not really flowing, right? So patience. If you do it later on, like closer to like in the middle of spring, that's probably a better time than it would probably take sooner. So like for me, this Kona, which took 3 months to finally form a bud, and now it's like 4 months and it's finally just doing this, you go, really? Shouldn't take that long, right? But it does sometimes, so just got to be patient. So the thing is with these pots, I'm using like smaller pots because I had them, but it's probably not the best thing to kind of use these small pots for your seedlings, but since I had it, that's what I've been using. And then what I typically do is that if and when they do kind of take, I try to up pot them into at least a 5 gallon. So this Kona, which I have right now, I need to up pot this into at least a 5 gallon, and then give the roots some room to kind of grow a little bit more. So now I did another graft a while back for a queen, which is what this is right here, and the way it grew out was kind of weird. So sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get, right? So this is kind of what it did, and it's odd that it's coming out kind of sideways like that, but at least it took. So now, you guys remember my reed seed that I got and I planted? Well, this guy's growing nicely right now. So what I wanted to do with this reed seed was to just kind of let it grow out and just see if I can actually get a fruit from it. It might take 5, 10, 15 years, but the idea was just to go ahead and do it just for fun. But the more I think about it, I think we're better off just grafting onto this so we can actually get some fruit sooner. But I do like the idea of trying to grow a seedling all the way to get some fruit, and then roll the dice essentially to see if we can actually get a fruit that tastes good, and then we can name it actually at that point, whatever variety we want to name it. So something cool to think about if you guys are growing from seed. And if you guys are growing a Hass avocado from seed and expecting to get a Hass, well, that's not going to happen. So that's just not how it works, because they don't grow true to seed. So, but anyways, I hope you guys are going to have a good weekend. Actually, you know what? I just noticed that this reed seedling is starting to leaf out even more here on the top. So that's great. Well, anyways, hopefully you guys have a good weekend, and take care, and just always check to make sure your avocados are hydrated, because we got to make sure these guys have water, because they are thirsty. Not too much water, of course, but like I always say, you got to stay hydrated. You got to make sure your avocados are hydrated also. Anyways, have a good weekend. See ya.